I was like, how could that possibly make sense? Like, what do you mean? And they're like, with Patrick Mahomes. And I was like, now I'm very confused. And then and they sent me the script and I was freaking out because it's so brilliant and perfect because I don't even know if they knew this, but I grew up playing football. I have two brothers who are big football fans. And my first call was to my brothers, and I was like, "You'll never guess, I got booked for the biggest commercial of all times." And they guessed immediately. They said State Farm, and I was like, "State Farm." And then I told them with who, and they were like, "No way!" Like they were more excited about this than anything I've ever done in my career. So it was an absolute like blessing and a miracle, and I can't believe it's still real. And it was the best day ever.
Meghan Trainor is now a triple threat. During a recent interview with Fox News Digital, the 31-year-old singer discussed what it was like starring in her first ever commercial for State Farm alongside Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes. They told me you got an offer to be in a State Farm commercial, and I was like, you're lying to me. And then I was like, how could that possibly make sense? Like, what do you mean? And they're like, with Patrick Mahomes. And I was like, now I'm very confused. And they sent me the script, and I was freaking out because it's so brilliant and perfect. Having grown up playing football with her brothers, getting to work with Mahomes was an absolute blessing and a miracle. Joking, her brothers were more excited about this than anything I've ever done in my career. Trainor admits she didn't know what to expect prior to meeting Mahomes. Joking, her brothers did nothing to calm her nerves, warning her she was walking into a room with superstars. She was happy to find the football player to be really sweet. I was in a bubble dress, and I was just like, hello, I'm the pop girl. So I felt very random and out of place, but they made me feel so comfortable immediately, she said. Gosh, everyone was so nice on set. Jay from State Farm, just a delight. Patrick was the most chillest, coolest guy ever. And I was making him giggle all day, and I felt like an absolute star. It was so magical and big and huge. And I'm like, this is the top. This is the top of commercials. Here we are, we've made it. The Made You Look singer went on to explain that acting has always been one of her dreams, and gave a shout out to State Farm for even considering me. While acting is something she is just starting to experiment with, her husband got his start as a baby. Her husband, Daryl Sabera, is best known for his starring role as Junie Cortez in the Spy Kids trilogy, and while the first movie was released when Sabera was 9 years old, he first appeared on screen as a baby in 3 episodes of Murphy Brown in 1992. A fact Trainor finds shocking. We always talk about it because my husband was acting as a baby, so even at Riley's age now, he was doing auditions for commercials, and we're just like, Riley, that would make him so angry, she explained to their 4-year-old son. Like that, there's no way this kid could focus for 5 seconds. So we're just like, how did you do this? How are you going to auditions every day at this age? Trainor went on to say that it definitely takes like a certain type of brain, a certain type of kid to be able to handle having a career at a young age. The Grammy award-winning singer added that her son recently started asking to join her on stage during her shows. I'm like, okay, if that's what you want to do, I will support you and I will help you. So, I will let you come out in this song, and we'll dance and have the best time, she said. So if they show interest, like obviously I'm going to be the first to be like, here's a keyboard, or like let's write songs. But I can barely get them to dance. Sabera and Trainor began dating in July 2016 and were engaged a year later, in December 2017. The two were married a year later in December 2018 and have since welcomed 2 sons. Riley, 4, and Barry, 2. While her children have only just begun showing interest in performing with Trainor, she enjoys traveling with Riley whenever she can. The best is when I get to bring him on a plane and go to Kansas City and do commercials like this, and meet people and travel, she said. I said, what makes you happy in life? And he said traveling, and so any chance I can, I steal him and we go away and travel, so that's like been the biggest reward and the coolest thing ever. The All About That bass singer admits that with her thriving music career and burgeoning acting career, she always feels like I'm not there enough and not physically present enough with her family, but that it's something she is working on. Then I remember like regular families, like most moms are gone at work, like all day long. And I was like, oh yeah, this is normal. Why does it feel so awful? She explained. And my mom worked every single day, and my parents, I never saw them either. So that's like a real big thing I've been struggling with. And now my 4-year-old is about to start school. And I'm like, but then I'll never see him.